these children are so abused. I mean, we're talking rapes by the hour and so forth, that they reach their expiration date within 2 years. And then they're murdered with impunity, or they're ritually murdered if that's what they've been bred for.
Yes, people, silent business. You know what time it is. Back again with another episode. Streets are moving, man.
I'm just a messenger.
Don't shoot. Yeah, today's video is basically about national pedophilia ring, child abduction, child abuse on a massive scale. I mean, like on an international level. And basically today we're going to hear from the ITNJ, the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. You saw the thumbnail of this video, and if you go past this video without even watching 10 minutes or even 5 minutes of this video, you are part of the problem we are having now in society. I am telling you this. You are part of the problem.
That as a parent and as a patriot, I'm absolutely outraged by what we're allowing to happen to our children. Humanity is judged on how you treat the weakest member of the society. Let me say that although pedophilia, which says child love, has nothing to do with the abuse of children, these children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture, because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. It's also the use of children for harvesting body organs. We'll have the Falun Gong testimony tomorrow. One of the reasons that the Falun Gong are so popular is because they're so healthy, so that you can harvest their body organs and get the very best. And then you have ritual ceremonies and ritual murder, as well as incidental murder. I have been a spy. I'm out from undercover. I'm under a lifetime secrecy agreement. I absolutely tell you without doubt, I have no secrets that I can remember. If when I go to Iran soon, they can torture me, there's nothing there for them to get. But I know the system. I've been a spy all over the world. I have created the Marine Corps Intelligence Command. I have trained intelligence and law enforcement representatives, over 8,000 of them from across 66 countries. They're all, without exception, good people trapped in a bad system. And one of the most wonderful things that this court could achieve, now that we've had Pizzagate, for example, which opened people's mind, is we could achieve an opening of the public mind and an absolute imperative from the public to governments, including the U.S. government, which I think is the center of gravity in so many ways. I have found in my research in preparation for this court and all of the work that will follow that most organizations that end up being used to prey on children, Oxfam is a recent example, all of the United Nations organizations, the Boy Scouts of America, all of the child services agencies across the United States of America, they did not start out as organizations to prey on children, but they attract pedophiles. And ultimately, pedophiles end up rising in the rank.
Listen, right? I'm going to read some stats out to you, right? And if this don't bother you or lit some fire upon your ass, as I said, you're part of the problem and you also need to be eradicated, right? Missing kids. Australia, 20,000 every year. Canada, 45,000 a year. Germany, 100,000 a year. India, 96,000 a year. Jamaica, 1,900 a year. Russia, 45,000 a year. Spain, 20,000 a year. The UK, 112,000 kids go missing every year in the UK. And this is the most atrocious and the most heinous one of them all. The USA, over 400,000 children go missing on a yearly basis. This is basically just a snap of the problem. In many countries, stats are missing. You understand what I'm saying? Right? This is only a snap of the problem. In many countries, stats on missing kids ain't even available. Even available stats may be inaccurate due to underreporting or inaccurate database entry or deleted data. And this is a massive problem, and people are worried about hair and nails. You get me? And games and who don't like me and who likes me. There's a massive problem out here. Broken homes, this is what's happening. I'll get onto that a bit later, but on with it.
Children. And one of our distinguished commissioners has written an absolutely wonderful book called Child Hunters, which I recommend to all of you as a brief on this. Governments are letting us all down. And I absolutely agree with the commissioner who brings forward the need to restore the sovereignty of we the people, because governments have become not only bureaucratized, but they are now the servants of the deep state, of the banks. And if I may, the deep state is not the same as the shadow government. As I say, every organization is 90% good people trapped in a bad system. It's the highest 10% that is generally the rogue killer element. The shadow government is generally politicians. I won't speak to England, but in the United States of America, we have a two-party tyranny, which disenfranchises 70% of the public. And so they run this chimera of an election process. One of the problems with computers is they're too easily manipulated. In the United States of America, elections are decided before the first vote is cast. The electronic voting machines are essentially fraudulent machines, just as computers can record a fraudulent judgment that sticks with you forever, or make a child vanish. I am concerned because most of these organizations dealing with children don't have counterintelligence protection. They're not vetting the people that are moving up in the ranks, and the government is allowing that to happen. So what you have essentially is the pedophiles generally appear to be the most wonderful, sociable people. You know, let Sally sit on Uncle John's lap because he's such a loving uncle. Unbeknownst to people, Uncle John is actually a predator. We're not doing the counterintelligence at the local level, the province level, or the national level. It's absolutely essential that we begin to talk about this openly. And while we are not a law enforcement commission, we can in fact turn information over to law enforcement. And I believe we will render a signal service to the people of Great Britain and to other countries by being a magnet for information. It's been my experience that when you put out one piece of free information, it attracts 100 pieces of information from others, of which 10 are priceless. So there's a 10-to-1 return on investment. And this commission seeks to create
We have a lot of selfish human beings in society. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say it for what it is. We have a lot of selfish ass women in society. Because either which way, like, the women are murdering these kids, bro. Like, if you're having an abortion, you're a murderer. I don't care what you say. You're willing to have all the fun, but absolve yourself from all responsibility. And then worse, you give that child up for adoption. And don't forget, these adoption agencies, they are private. You're not allowed to know anything. So where does your child end up? You don't know, and you don't give a flying fuck.
Online library and some other things that I'll talk about in a moment. And I believe we will serve as a magnet, a hub, a catalyst for a new emerging global consciousness about pedophilia and all of its aspects. There is great cause for alarm. There are two great causes for alarm beyond the actual fact of pedophilia and its existence, which, as His Grace has pointed out, has gone on for centuries. First, the elite appear to be seeking to infect local and provincial law enforcement officers with a taste for pedophilia. There appears to be a very deliberate attempt to push this interest in pedophile movies, including movies that include bestiality. I'm very concerned because we're seeing some snuff movies now, and we're seeing some movies in which military war dogs are raping children, including toddlers. And these movies may have come out of the American occupation of Afghanistan and the boredom of U.S. Army and Marine Corps troops, where in Afghanistan, pedophilia is common. It's a standard practice at the village level. But military war dogs plus common pedophilia and video cameras, which every U.S. soldier and Marine has, is a very, very toxic combination. And I'm seeing direct evidence that that is one of the most horrible things that's come out of Afghanistan in recent years. Now, let me also tell you that we have a second concern, and the witness has really most magnificently outlined asset stripping. The core message from this asset stripping is that the same machine that strips children from families strips wealth from those who are being preyed upon. Not just whistleblowers, but, as we'll hear on Wednesday, husbands stupid enough to try and hide their money by moving it offshore so that they don't have to share with their wife. What husbands do when they turn over their money to intermediaries who are part of this system is mark themselves as a target. They might as well paint a target on their forehead because they have now become prey for a system that recognizes people who are asking to be made destitute. Now, it's not my working assumption, but the working assumption yet to be proven that the totality of the children disappearing worldwide is toward 8 million people, toward 8 million children. In the United States of America, the acknowledged number, not counting the children being bred without birth certificates, not counting the children being imported without documentation, is between 600 and 800,000 a year. Now imagine Africa and East Asia and all these other locations. I personally believe that the number we want to try to document is rising well beyond the official figures, and we have yet to learn what the actual number is, okay? The other working assumption is how long do these children survive within this system? What I am hearing from the witnesses that I've talked to is 2 years. It may be longer. It may be 4 years, it may be 6 years, but by and large, these children are so abused. I mean, we're talking rapes by the hour and so forth, that they reach their expiration date within 2 years. And then they're murdered with impunity, or they're ritually murdered if that's what they've been bred for. So I think we need to document this. No one else has done this before in a systematic manner. This commission is rendering a signal service by seeking to do an overall view in the public interest.
That is disturbing because it's a massive issue. And we can't pretend that we don't see the elephant in the room. The elephant is right there in the fucking room. Are we going to pretend we don't see this big ass, fat, big blood clot, massive creature in the middle of the room? Are we just going to keep ducking under, sliding past it like it's not there? You understand? Bro, I'm telling you, every 2 minutes, a child is reportedly missing in Europe. Every 2 minutes. As I said, if this don't lit a fire under your arsehole, you are part of the problem. You understand where I'm coming from, right? What, are you going to wait until some madness happens to you? Like, wagwan. I'm talking both men and women, bro. Like, what are we doing out here? You get me? Like, our children are suffering, bro. And people are worried about their dead feelings and me, and me, and me. Hakto! Spit on the lot of you. You don't deserve nothing. You get me? You don't deserve nothing apart from torture. You are the ones that should be in these fucking children's position. You heinous motherfuckers that are out here worried about bullshit. You are the ones that should be in these children's position. You understand? Like, kids out here being bred for this shit. And you have no problem giving up your child for adoption. Raw, is this the world we're really living in, people? Listen, it's silent business.
I'm just a messenger.
Don't shoot.